I am a sick man. I'm a spiteful man. I am an unattractive man. So begins Dostoevsky's Notes from Underground. The speaker is a retired 40-year-old civil servant, middle management, insignificant, forgotten. He lives alone in a cramped underground apartment. He has no family, no friends, no vocation, and most importantly, he has no future. His life is not dramatic, it is stagnant. And that is precisely the horror of it. This book is Dostoevsky's warning. Do not live like this man, or you will end up like him. What makes the underground man terrifying is not that he is evil, although he is. It is that he is recognizable. It is that he's intelligent, he's self-aware, he's wounded, he's bitter. He's a lot like us, and worse, he's incapable of decisive action. With that being said, today we're going to talk about 5 lessons that Dostoevsky gives us through this man, and 5 ways a man destroys himself without ever lifting a fist. If you're enjoying this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. YouTube says more than 60% of you guys watching are not subscribed, and it would mean the world to me if you subscribed right now. Everything on this channel is about becoming a better man, physically, spiritually, and mentally. It's about discussing how we men can get closer to God and realize our fullest potential by doing the hard thing. If that resonates with you, hit the subscribe button right now, and let's get back to the video. Lesson 1. A man who thinks everything and does nothing will despise himself. You see, the underground man is all thought and no action. Throughout the book, he repeatedly tells us what he will do. He will challenge an insulting acquaintance to a duel. He will confront people who disrespect him. He will assert himself, but he never does. Instead, his life becomes an endless inner monologue, aggressive, spiteful, elaborate, while his external behavior remains passive and submissive. He even divides the world into 2 types of people, men of action and men of excessive consciousness. And he admits, with envy, that the men of action at least live. This is not accidental. Dostoevsky is showing us that masculinity requires execution, not merely intention. The clearest example is the officer incident in the book. A military officer casually moves him aside in a tavern, not violently, not maliciously. There's nothing. It's just, he just barely notices it. The underground man interprets this as a profound humiliation. Instead of addressing it, he obsesses. He holds on to this grudge for 2 years. 2 years of plotting, fantasizing, rehearsing revenge, all for something the officer does not even remember. When he finally acts, all he does is bump shoulders with the officer on the street. The moment is empty. There is no relief. There is no redemption. Dostoevsky's lesson is brutal, but it's very important. If you repeatedly promise yourself action and fail to follow through, you will lose respect for yourself. And once a man loses respect for himself, once he loses his own respect, nothing else can replace it. Lesson 2. Resentment turns small slights into lifelong torment. You see, the underground man does not suffer because the world is uniquely cruel to him. He suffers because he interprets everything as an attack. Neutral actions feel hostile. Indifference feels like hatred. Minor inconveniences feel like moral crimes. He admits that he wakes up at night furious at people who do not even know he exists. The officer never wronged him. His schoolmates do not conspire against him. Society is not actively persecuting him, but resentment warps his perception until the world feels unbearable. This is one of Dostoevsky's most important masculine insights. A resentful man becomes his own executioner. Instead of confronting injustice directly, the underground man internalizes. He stews, he broods, he replays imagined insults until they consume him. And resentment does not stay contained. It leaks outward. Give you an example. See, at his civil service job, he admits to being deliberately cruel, denying people help, delaying paperwork, enjoying their frustration. Not because they deserve it, but because he enjoys feeling powerful for once. Resentment gives him a sense of control, but it costs him everything else. Lesson 3. Freedom without discipline becomes self-destruction. The underground man prides himself on being free. He rejects the idea that humans should live according to reason, efficiency, or utility. He insists that man must be free to choose even what harms him, and he proves it. He repeatedly acts against his own interests, self-sabotaging, sabotaging relationships, humiliating himself, ruining opportunities, simply to assert his independence. But this is not strength. This is freedom without moral direction. This is foolishness. Dostoevsky is making a precise point here. Masculinity that defines itself only by rebellion will eventually rebel against itself. That is the core identity of that sort of masculinity. The underground man does not choose suffering for honor, growth, or responsibility. He chooses it out of spite, out of pride, out of refusal, rebellion for the sake of rebellion. And so his freedom, it becomes a cage. And there's nothing he can do to set himself free. He is now a slave to his own desires. Lesson 4. A man who avoids challenge will become a coward. Early in the book, the narrator casually mentions that he quit his job the first chance he got, and he has done nothing since. No vocation, no struggle, no challenge, nothing worth pursuing in his life. And yet he openly admits that struggle gives life meaning. You see the contradiction with this guy? He compares meaningful life to a game or a contest, something difficult, something earned. The irony in his life is devastating. He knows the truth, and yet he refuses to live it. As a result, every challenge terrifies him. This culminates in his encounter with Liza, the prostitute. For the first time, he forms a genuine human connection. He speaks to her with insight, sometimes compassion, sometimes tenderness, again with a Machiavellian sense here. Then he gives her his address. This could have been his way out, but when she actually comes to him, when intimacy becomes real, he panics. Ashamed of his poverty, his apartment, his life, he lashes out, he insults her, he humiliates her until she leaves. And just like that, the one path to humanity is destroyed. The warning for masculinity here is unmistakable. Cowardice does not protect you from pain, it guarantees it. Every time you decide not to do the hard thing, you are reinforcing that attitude that in you will never do the hard thing. Lesson 5. Intellectual arrogance locks a man into ruin. See, the underground man is not stupid, and I hope I've made that clear. He is reasonably educated, well-read, articulate, and this becomes his final prison. He believes that his bleak, cynical worldview is the only intelligent one. He dismisses hope, empathy, responsibility, and moral striving as naive illusions for lesser minds. Whenever someone challenges his outlook, his more successful classmates or Liza's compassion, he rejects them on one ground alone. They are not as intelligent as he is. This arrogance, this foolish bravado ensures he will never change. Dostoevsky is issuing a warning, especially to intelligent men. When intelligence becomes an identity instead of a tool, growth becomes impossible. The underground man would rather be right than be redeemed, and so he stays underground forever. See, the underground man is not a monster. He's evident in you and I. He's a man who has refused action, nurtured resentment, he has avoided challenge, he has rejected responsibility, and he has idolized, worshipped his own intelligence. And because of that, his life collapses inward. See, Notes from Underground is not nihilistic. It's preventative. Dostoevsky is showing us the end of a path, so we do not have to walk it ourselves. The warning is clear. Do not rot in thought without action. Do not nurse resentment in silence. Do not mistake cynicism for wisdom. Come up from underground while you still can. This has been probably one of the hardest books I've ever had to go through. And again, I've had to take my time to pour through this just to share some of my lessons with you guys. And it's going to stick with me for the rest of my life. And I hope that some of the things I've pointed out go a long way to change your life too. As always, if you've liked this video, if you've got in here so far, please leave a like, subscribe, and share. We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers this year. And I'm going to be doing more content like this, drawing lessons from literature that I think has the capacity to transform all of us. You, me, and anyone who will dare to come up from underground. Until next time, bye guys. Love and light.